Hello and welcome to your 10th pre-algebra class, and today's topic is solving two-step equations. So in our previous videos we saw how to solve equations by adding or subtracting, equations by multiplying and dividing, and today we're going to see how to solve two-step equations, which basically is a combination of both solving equations by multiplying and dividing and solving equations by adding and subtracting. And I am actually on page 120 of the textbook that was provided to you guys, so you can go to those pages 120 through 123 to review these examples. So let's get started. We're going to solve equations that involve two steps, and we're also going to check them. So let's look at the first example. The first example says 3x plus 7 equals negative 5. So I want to find the value of x, but I have a 7 here and I have a negative 5 here. So what is my first step? Well, my first step is going to be to get rid of this 7. And how do I do that? Well, if there's a plus sign here, I'm going to do the opposite of adding, which is subtracting. So I'm going to subtract 7, and I'm also going to subtract 7 here. This is going to cause the positive 7 and the negative 7 to cancel out, bringing down the 3x. And then on the other side, I have negative 5 minus 7, which is the same thing as saying negative 5 plus negative 7, which is going to equal negative 12. So that would be 3x equals negative 12. And my last step is to divide everything by 3. And that would be x equals negative 4. And I can check this problem just to make sure that everything is correct. So how do I do that? Well, to check the answer, you simply take your original equation, and instead of writing 3x plus 7 equals negative 5, I say 3 times 4 plus 7 equals negative 5. 3 times 4 is 12, and 3 times 4 times negative 4 is negative 12, and negative 12 plus 7 equals negative 5. So let me fix that real quick, guys. So I say 3 times negative 4 plus 7 equals negative 5. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. And negative 12 plus 7 is negative 5. So negative 5 equals negative 5, which means that this is correct. The same thing we're going to do here. But here we have a situation, because it says x divided by 2 minus 3 equals 1. So I know that when I have x over 2, that implies multiplication. But how do I do that? Well, you're going to get rid of the 3, and if it says minus 3, you add 3. So this is going to be plus 3 and plus 3, and minus 3 and plus 3 are going to cancel each other out. I bring down the x over 2, and 1 plus 3 is 4. So that leaves me with x over 2 equals 4. And what I'm going to do after that is simply multiply by 2 on both sides. So I'm going to multiply by 2. This is going to cancel out. X is going to be isolated or alone. And then 4 times 2 is 8. So that means that x equals 8. And just like I did here, I can also check this answer, this problem, to verify that it's correct. And what I'm going to do is just plug in 8 wherever I have an x. So instead of writing x over 2 minus 3 equals 1, I say 8 divided by 2 minus 3 equals 1. And of course, I use my order of operations, which means I divide first, and 8 divided by 2 is 4, and 4 minus 3 equals 1, and 1 equals 1. And that means that this also checks out and is correct. So now I'm going to do my last exercise, which is pretty similar to this one, but there's a very important thing I need to take into account. So this last exercise says 7 minus 4y equals 19. Now, it's very simple. If I want to solve for y, I have to get rid of the 7. But what do? There's a minus sign between the 7 and the 4y. Well, we're not necessarily going to pay attention to that. We're actually going to pay attention to the sign of the 7. The 7 is positive, so the only possible way for me to get rid of that positive 7 is by subtracting 7. Okay? And it's because this 7 is positive. So I want the opposite sign of that. So the opposite sign of positive 7 is negative 7. And I do the same thing on this side. So this is going to cancel out, which means I bring down this minus sign. and the 4y, turning that into negative 4y. And 19 minus 7 is 12, so that would be 4y equals 12, or negative 4y equals 12. You divide by negative 4 on both sides, and this cancels out, and that would be y equals negative 3. And I can check my answer just like I did for the other exercises, so I'm going to simply plug in negative 3 wherever I had a y, so I'm going to say 7 minus 4y, but instead of writing 4y, I turn that into negative 3, which is 7 minus 4 times negative 3 equals 19. So what's going to happen here is that minus 4 times negative 3 is actually going to be positive 12, so that would be 7 plus 12, which equals 19, and 19 equals 19. And they check out. So this is solving two-step equations, guys. This is not difficult at all. And feel free to review this video, or pause and rewind and go back to it as many times as you can. You can also check the examples on page 120, 121, 122. And when you're done with all that, guys, I want you to go to page 123, and I want you to answer problems 8 through 12. So this is your favorite math teacher signing off. Stay safe, and I'll see you soon.